How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. 3 Arrows Capital co-founder Kyle Davis says he doesn't have to answer to the U.S. courts. 3 Arrows Capital co-founder Kyle Davis said he renounced his American citizenship and therefore doesn't need to answer the U.S. courts. In Tuesday court documents, he said he became a resident of Singapore in 2017. For the avoidance of doubt, I am not subjecting myself to or accepting the jurisdiction of the courts in the United States, the statutory declaration filed today said. I don't think he knows that's not how it works, as right here it shows he does have to answer them. In September 2019, the SEC charged a non-U.S. financial services firm for providing brokerage services to investors in the United States without being registered as a broker-dealer or acting pursuant to an exemption from registration. They need to follow the Securities Act of 1934 or have an exemption under Rule 15A through 6, or dash 6, however you want to say. Bitcoin Ordinals team has launched a nonprofit as inscriptions top 21 million. So this is good for Ordinals as it provides a way for them to fund their project and continue growth. The California-based nonprofit, dubbed the Open Ordinals Institute, will back the protocol's development by funding its core group of developers, including the project's pseudonymous leader, maintainer Raph. If you hear a noise, sorry about that, that's my chinchillas. But it's very great to scale up this and make a long-term effort, Raph told Decrypt. Nonprofits can accept donations and can allocate capital to people contributing in a very neutral way without there being a profit incentive. Pending the approval from the IRS, the Ordinals development team will be able to accept tax-deductible donations. So if you give them money, they want to pay taxes on it. They will probably have to pay taxes if they made money, but as a nonprofit, they don't make money. So they would mostly be tax exempt. GameStop is killing its NFT wallet and blames regulatory uncertainty. So, video game retailer GameStop has made a splashy entrance into the NFT space, launching their own marketplace with big plans to support crypto games, but as the market has lost steam, GameStop is pulling back and they will soon end support for their own wallet. GameStop cited the regulatory uncertainty of the crypto space for the move. The news was revealed today as a pop-up message on their NFT marketplace. Support for the wallet will cease on November 1st. The retailer advises users to ensure that they backed up their wallet's secret passphrases by October 1st. I would sell your assets and go off, but that's my opinion. Not financial advice. Real quick, if you haven't already, like this video, click the link down below to subscribe, like the video, join the links down below in the description to join our Discord, and get some Reaper Apparel Co. merch. There's a 10% off link if you're interested. So, nice stuff there. Our Discord will be expanding eventually whenever we start getting some people. So, if you want to be one of our first members, join and see what we've got to offer. Our overall channel is still in our pattern. We got a long lower candle shadow, so sellers tried to push us way lower. They tried to go to the support area back here. Kind of zoom out so you get a better picture. So right back in this range, we kind of bounced off. So we have a long lower shadow candle, kind of dragonfly candle. So this could end up being a bullish setup as sellers tried to push us lower, but ultimately buyers managed to step in and keep price just a little higher. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic is falling. Our money flow is still very weak, VWAP still falling, and momentum still coming under. So we're gonna need that VWAP to round up. But we could have potential to get some push up if we get green candles tomorrow. Bitcoin dominance, we are pushing back into our pattern, so this is good for a move up. We could potentially hit the top and get rejected again, so we're not going to delete it until we invalidate it. But overall, we could be still within this pattern, so watch out for a breakdown. But us coming back in does give us a hope for a breakout and above it. Our stochastic is running up, RSI is running up, money flow is coming up. We're not quite making new highs. We are pretty consistent as far as price and money flow, so that is looking alright. Our VWAP is heading up, our momentum is coming up. We did have a bullish divergence that is bringing us higher, so we'll have to see if that can carry some more weight. Over on our Bitcoin futures, we are kind of going flat just like Bitcoin dominance. Not really going very far, so we have this long lower shadow candle that wants to push us up, but we're not getting very much strength off it. This is a little concerning, as we could start to fall now. RSI is starting to round off, stochastic wants to run up. Our money flow is rejecting away from that neutral. Our VWAP is trying to break through that neutral, but doesn't look very convincing right now. So if the money flow and VWAP start to pull away on us, we could see a rejection of this pattern, and we may not break up. Over on Bitcoin, we are still in this bear flag, so that would be, we pretty much took the whole move for the bear flag today, but this would pretty much be what the pattern would be in, and would be counter to the futures. You'd expect the futures to have more of a bearish pattern. Our RSI is trying to head up, stochastic's trying to head up, money flow is starting to push away, VWAP's coming out, our momentum is getting a red dot. We do have this long lower shadow candle, so like I said before, that does show that sellers tried to push us lower and buyers did manage to step in. So even though we did manage to break down and get our full kind of move very quickly, we may not see any further breakdown from it, and I'm actually going to delete it since it pretty much played out, and this is a bullish candle possibility that could make this some sort of a rounding bottom and a potential for some sort of cup and handle to form. Over on the 4 hour, you can see that kind of cup here, so we pushed down pretty hard, kind of went flat and then pushed back up. We did kind of wick down, kind of look at the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, it was a very quick move down, but oops, back to the 4 hour. We are kind of setting up that cup handle, so if we push down from here, we could get that handle, and then we could get a break up if we don't invalidate that like the last time we had one. Stochastic's trying to run up, RSI's trying to run up, VWAP's heading up very strong. Our money flow is in the bullish territory. I'd like to see it push up a little higher. Our momentum is coming up as our VWAP's pushing up, so we are looking pretty decent here. The money flow, we are kind of hitting a resistance around this 4-6 zone, so just watch out, as if we push lower, we could push down, get some sort of a push. You would want to see a push right around this 29K area. If we drop much lower than that, we may invalidate this pattern. Over on the 2 hour, you can see we tried to start to come down, so we might just have like that as like a very small handle. We'll have to see how it looks on the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, 1 hour, a little more clean. We'll get to that though. Stochastic's running up, RSI's trying to head up, our VWAP's starting to roll over, our money flow is trying to break through that neutral, so our money flow wants to go into the bullish territory. If it does manage to do that, we could get a further push up. Momentum is coming up as well, but it's starting to kind of round out as that VWAP is starting to round out, so keep an eye on that. Over on the 1 hours, if we kind of stretch this out a bit, you can see cup, little mini handle, so we could have our breakout happening right around now. If I could get my mouse in the right spot there. So could get a little bit of a retest of this zone to that bull flag. This might get us close enough to push up. I did mention on our Discord that if this bullish divergence we had, if the money flow continued to come out and didn't continue to push up, we may not see that push us higher. So the money flow did manage to kind of stay in this range and kind of crab us up. So that was what I was trying to allude to. Our stochastic is trying to get a little bit of a push up. RSI is trying to push up. Momentum's starting to curl off. Our VWAP is trying to get a bit of a bounce. Our money flow is kind of hitting that resistance around the 7.6. We're going to need to curl up and push higher if we're going to get this breakout. If this money flow starts to reject down from here, we could invalidate any cup and handle possibility here. Over on graph for the daily, we do have this bullish pattern, so if everything else continues its bullish momentum, we could see this breakout soon. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic wants to kind of make a cross soon. We do have somewhat of a bottoming pattern that could form here. Not the cleanest. Momentum is overall pushing lower though, so just keep an eye on that. Money flow overall is inching out, but we're going kind of flat the last couple days. Our VWAP is trying to break through that neutral, so our VWAP wants to give us a bullish push up. So we're going to have to see if that VWAP can cross through tomorrow, or at least in the next couple days. If we don't, we could get a rejection. Over on the 4 hour here, you can see that rounding a little better here, so a little cleaner looking there. Stochastic's running up, RSI is trying to run up. We had a bullish divergence on our stochastic that pushed us higher. Didn't really get much lift off. A little bit of a move, nothing too exciting. Our money flow is trying to make a bounce. Momentum is getting a double green dot and pushing up, as our VWAP is running up pretty strongly, so we are looking pretty decent. If we do break through this neutral on the money flow, we could see continued upside. Over on the 2 hour, we do have bullish money flow. We're going to have to see if that can maintain. It's kind of at a resistance area where we rejected the last time just above that neutral at like 1.5. So if we push away from here, we could get a rejection. Our VWAP's starting to curl, stochastic's running up, RSI is running up, our momentum's running up pretty decent. But if this VWAP curls off, our momentum could start to curl away and we could kind of stretch out a little bit. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a green dot here, so that green dot wants to give us some bullish momentum up. That's preceded by the reversal arrow, so when you get those, sometimes you get a move afterwards, not always though. Sometimes you get a big drop, so not always the case, like here you drop. Stochastic's trying to get a little bit of a push, RSI is trying to push up, but our stochastic's sort of starting to inch out, so keep an eye on that. Our momentum is running up pretty decently. Our VWAP's starting to get lower highs and kind of tapering out. So if that flips into the bearish territory, that could bring our momentum down. Our money flow is starting to reject away from that neutral. We are meeting resistance around this 3-4 zone. So if we reject away from here, we could get further downside and kind of stretch out. If we push up through here, we could get a break up and then possibly break through this Fibonacci zone next. Over on Anchor for the daily, we kind of wicked down to the bottom of our pattern, so may end up having a breakdown through it. Stochastic is starting to push down, RSI is coming down, momentum's coming down with the red dot, VWAP is pushing down very strongly. Our money flow is testing support at around a 4, so if we do break through here, we could see continued downside. Over on the 4 hour, we are kind of zigzagging up, trying to push up toward the top. So if we do that, we may try to get some sort of scam wick up and invalidate our pattern. However, if we form some sort of down channel, we could start a breakdown from here. Our RSI is trying to push up, stochastic's trying to push up, VWAP is pushing up in the bullish territory, bringing our momentum up with a green dot. Our money flow is trying to push into the bullish territory. We're going to have to watch if it kind of flops over. If we start to flop over here like we did back here, we could get a bearish push down as money flow rejected several times across bullishly. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a slight gap right here around 2.5, so we might get a little bit of a push up, fill that gap, not much more to go. Stochastic's trying to run up, RSI is trying to run up, money flow is trying to push up, VWAP's trying to push up, and our momentum's trying to come up. So we do have something signaling we could get a little bit of a move up, but they are also signaling that move up may be exhausted. Kind of like I said, that gap, if we hit that and kind of pull away from it, that could be where we see our rejection from. Over on the 1 hour, gap's about the same distance, getting a reversal arrow, so this candle could get that final push, then the next candle could reverse on us. Stochastic's trying to push up, RSI is trying to push up, our momentum's coming up very strong. Our VWAP is starting to inch its way out, so it is losing strength. Keep an eye on that. Our money flow is kind of tapering away from this neutral, so it is trying to break bullish, but it doesn't look very strong. If the next couple candles start to push away, this is probably going to flip into the bearish territory and we could get sucked down. Over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to invalidate our pattern. Got about half of our move down, so going to delete this because you aren't always going to get the full move, so I'm not going to bet on that pattern playing out any longer. RSI is trying to head up, money flow is starting to come out, VWAP is coming out, momentum is coming out, so we do have a little bit more of a bearish setup, so we could have another bearish swing down, but this is a hammer candle with a long lower shadow, so this could be a signal of a bottom and we could see a push up toward this point of control, which we could get some volatile action from. Over on the 4 hour, we are kind of flat here. This could be like a stretched out double bottom which then we could get push up and then break up toward that point of control like I suggested. Stochastic is trying to head up, RSI is trying to head up, VWAP's trying to head up, our money flow is trying to head up, if I could get the word out. Our momentum is coming up, so we are looking pretty decent for a move up if these signals continue. Over on the 2 hour, not seeing any kind of low gap, so nothing to worry about getting sucked down on. Don't really see any high gaps either, so nothing to really pull us up on either. But we are kind of getting this rounding bottom, so that could help push us up. Our money flow is kind of rejecting away from that neutral. Keep an eye on that, as if that continues, we could get a further push down. VWAP is starting to curl away, so we'll need that to turn course. Our stochastic is running up and RSI are going up. Our momentum is breaking into the bullish territory. But if that VWAP starts to flop and the money flow starts to flop, we could get a rejection here. At best, we'd want to hope for some sort of cup and handle and then maybe a push up then. Over on the 1 hour, kind of sloppy, might be a bit of a cup forming. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of a push. However, we do have some support resistance around the 71 cent zone too, so just keep an eye on that. We had a bearish divergence on our stochastic that didn't really bring us down very far. Our stochastic's trying to head up, RSI's trying to come up, our momentum's starting to curl off, VWAP is overall losing its strength. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, trying to break through the bullish territory. So if we do flip bullish and hold very strong, then we could see a push up. However, if we push away into this bearish territory again, then we could get a rejection and push lower. Over on algo for the daily, we are kind of just bouncing around, not really going very far. We tried to wick down, so we might try to invalidate this pattern, but we tried to wick down and start to break down from it. Well, actually, that wouldn't be an invalidation, that'd be a break up through the pattern, because it is a bullish pattern. Down channels do bring you up. I know it's kind of deceitful. RSI is going kind of flat, stochastic's pretty flat, VWAP's starting to reject away, money flow's starting to reject away, and our momentum's starting to come down. So even though we have this bullish channel, the indicators aren't looking as favorable, so just keep that in mind. Over on the 4 hour, we are getting a little bit of a breakout, so if this bullish momentum keeps up, we could see a further push. Stochastic is heading up, RSI is heading up, our VWAP's heading up, money flow is in the bullish territory and pushing up. Our momentum is coming up, so we do look pretty decent, and this could be our breakout. Real quick, if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe again. I know I've said it already, but just a reminder. Our VWAP is trying to head up, stochastic's trying to head up, RSI is trying to head up. Our momentum is kind of in the bullish territory, but it's kind of starting to taper off. If this VWAP continues to come down, then we could see a retest of this support on the top of our pattern. If we see further bearish action at that point, we could get sucked back in. Otherwise, if we get a bullish push away from it, then we could see our breakout. Over on the 1 hour, you can see that retest that I just talked about, so we kind of got that push toward the support zone of our pattern, and we are pushing up. So that is good for us on the 1 hour. Stochastic's trying to push up, RSI's trying to push up, momentum has a green dot, VWAP is pushing into the bullish territory, so it bounced off that neutral. So that is good, we're going to need that to continue. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, so our money flow is heading up. So if this continues, that could start to strengthen our lower and higher time frames. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.